Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, happy Saturday. Welcome to a brand new episode of Degenerate, Danger Zone. Slick Al, I'm your host, Degenerate Al. You know what the show is sponsored by. New York's only Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And how could I forget? It's a slick Saturday.
Yes, sir. Slick Saturday, big pay-per-view. How lucky are we as MMA fans, Al? Two big pay-per-view of the year contenders with just about within a month of each other.
Oh, absolutely crazy. I'm so excited for this card tonight. I think a lot of some recent cards. I think the last pay-per-view card was a little underwhelming. I think tonight you're going to see fireworks. I don't think we're going to see boring 5-round decisions. I think those final 3 fights, I love to parlay them all not to go decision and see what that would pay out, Slick.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of potential violence to be had throughout this card. You could definitely do some violence parlays of does not go the distance with plenty of these fights and get great value plus money across the board if you do 2 to 3 fights. Does not go the distance.
Yeah. Now, I know you were on Spaces last night. We got your video post after this, so don't want to give away too many secrets here, Slick, but what are some of your favorite fights tonight and a couple predictions from you?
I mean, like we were just saying, Al, top to bottom, this card is amazing. But even Creek was looking at this one earlier. Frankie Edgar and Chris Gutierrez. This is Frankie Edgar's retirement fight. He's a legend of the sport. He's 41 years old. He said this is going to be his last fight. It's no easy task, though, going against Chris Gutierrez. Can he get it done? Of course he can get it done. He's Frankie Edgar. He has a clear wrestling advantage. But Gutierrez is young, quick, and Edgar's chin just needs to hold up. But that one should be a good fight. Expect maybe a split decision. You could dabble on that as well. Fan favorite. I didn't include this in my video. Molly McCann, Meatball Molly, going against Erin Blanchfield, who's also a young up-and-comer, looking good in the UFC. But Molly's really become a fan favorite in the UFC and really has the crowd support behind her. You know, she has that Barstool endorsement with Patty the Batty, and she's coming off 2 straight spinning back elbow TKOs that have made the crowd go absolutely nuts. And here we are again at a famous arena going from the O2. Now we're at MSG. If she can get the crowd behind her and get some combinations off early, there's no reason Molly McCann can't put this girl away early.
I was going to ask you, why do you think, like you said, fan favorite, you got to think people are going to be betting her. Like you said, Barstool, all these different combinations here. Why is she so big of a dog?
Hey, that's a great question, Al. The line surprised me quite a bit. You know, Erin Blanchfield, she's only 23. She's great grappling. So I think her game plan is probably going to be getting Molly to the mat and controlling her there and looking for a unanimous decision victory. She's only had 3 fights in the UFC. So that line does surprise me, as a girl like Molly has been in the UFC since around 2018. And if Erin can get her to the mat and control her, she's had 2 of her 3 wins in the UFC by unanimous decision. Obviously, we don't like to see boring fights when we're betting on them. But if you're a Blanchfield Taylor and taking her in parlay fodder, that's probably what you're going to be hoping for. Because if she stands and exchanges with Molly, it could be a quick night.
Yeah, I was thinking of parlaying both the females there with Blanchfield and Zhang. I think that gets you to minus 161. Obviously, that's still pretty chalky. And then adding in, if you're looking for like a primetime betting type night, 7:30. I think it's where College Game Day was today. TCU, Texas. You got undefeated TCU as 7-point underdogs taking on 3-loss Texas in Texas. Texas money line gets that to plus 123. That's my play. That is my 3-teamer chalker of the day. Both the females with Texas.
I got to touch real quick since you brought that up. Do you think TCU deserves to be in the top 4?
As of right, yeah. I mean, you're undefeated from a big conference, right? I mean, obviously, no one's schedule outside of the SEC is going to compare to anything, right? Like, you can't compare TCU's schedule. You can't even compare Ohio State's schedule to an SEC schedule. So, yeah, I mean, if you're undefeated like they are, I have no issue with them being in the top 4.
True. Yep. That's going to be a great game tonight. One college football game I'm looking at, a quick pick. I got the California Golden Bears plus 11.5 against the Oregon State Beavers. Last week, Cal was a 17.5 point underdog against a 9th-ranked USC team and only lost by 6. And Pac-12 teams have played the Oregon State Beavers pretty well this year, and Cal has surprisingly been underestimated on the spread all year for a decent football team. I think they go in there and cover 11.5 pretty easily after what they did last week against USC.
Yep. I think another matchup we have to be following right now, I got it on the screen right here. LSU is currently up 3 points to Arkansas.
Yeah, I have them 3.5.
Oh, dear God. Well, it's kind of sketchy looking for you then, Slick. We'll see if they can drive the field here.
Parlay.
Yep. But the thing I was looking at here, this makes the game here at 3:30 very critical. You have Alabama number 9 against 11 Ole Miss as 11-point favorites. I'm pretty sure if LSU wins this game, that game means nothing to Bama.
Right.
So I think you're one of these situations here. Wait and see what happens. If LSU wins, I love the points at Ole Miss at home. I understand that Nick Saban is big when it comes to coming off a loss. They always typically cover the spread.
Right.
But this is a different Bama team this year. And how are the players going to react? This is a team that goes to the Final Four and goes to the championship typically every year. How is this team going to react when knowing they're probably not going to have a chance on the road at Ole Miss? I'm going to take the points there if LSU can hang on.
Yeah, that's intriguing. And it's this is why college football is such a shit show. LSU, what they're doing right now against Arkansas after that electric game against Alabama last week, winning in overtime, and now not much points being put on the board here late against Arkansas.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You got to think a little bit of a letdown spot here for LSU, right? I mean, it's just
for
thrilling win, probably partying all week long.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then that's, like I said, the big one tonight is that can TCU upset Texas? So it's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that spread is very telling. So
yep. So let's kick it over NHL. We have the Buffalo Sabres in action tonight. They're home to the Boston Bruins on a little bit of a skid here. Slick, what is it, 4 L's in a row?
Yeah, they've been playing very good teams. There's no denying that, but they just haven't managed to get a whole lot done. They've looked pretty careless once they've gotten down a goal or two, and the goaltending obviously something needs to be addressed there. It's been a while for that, since that's really been not a problem within the Sabres organization.
Yep.
Against the Vegas game, I think we had to expect that. I think a lot of people taking the Sabres as dogs was just a stupid decision. I think Vegas was free money that whole time.
Unlike last year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But
yep.
Things have changed quite a bit. Vegas is really good, and the Sabres aren't catching a break here either with another tough game against Boston Bruins, another good team.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me check what the puck line is there, but Bruins plus 140, minus 1.5. I mean, if the Sabres keep it up, fade Sabres. I wouldn't doubt that very much. Bruins, I believe, coming off a back-to-back. I think they played last night. Or maybe it was Thursday. I'm sorry.
They played Thursday. They beat the Flames at home. 3-1.
Yeah, coming off a win there. So now coming into Buffalo, the story of rivalry. A thing I have looked at and loved in Sabres games thus far this season is the over. 6.5 consistently seems to be hitting. Even when the Sabres play good teams, it's not like they're not scoring goals.
Yep.
They're just getting outscored. Obviously, that Vegas game, what is 7-4 game, easily covers. So
we know goaltending is an issue with the Buffalo Sabres. That's just, it'll never go away this season. So yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be addressed at some point. And if we get scored on, you can assure that we'll at least score a couple goals.
Yeah.
We have some very capable goal scorers, so I love that over 6.5. Little juice there too at minus 120.
Interesting. Okay. And another matchup I'm looking at, we just talked about the Bruins. They're first in the Atlantic. You have the New Jersey Devils at home. They are first in the Metropolitan. There was only, weeks ago where Devils fans were chanting "Fire Lindy." How stupid do you look now, Devils fans, after 2 or 3 games starting that god-awful chant? They're coming to Buffalo, I believe, Black Friday. Lindy will be back in town. But this is one of the things that I look at this line. I get it. The Devils are in first place, but they're minus 335 to the Coyotes. The Sabres were minus 235 to the Coyotes, and you saw what happened in that matchup. I'm pretty sure the Arizona Coyotes have also beaten Toronto this year as massive, massive underdogs. It just seems that number is a little high to me. Look at this. Yeah. Again, they just beat the Islanders as well on Thursday, 2-0. And the Islanders were like minus 350.
Coyotes did?
What?
Coyotes did?
Yes.
Oh, my.
Arizona has won 4 out of 5 games against the Panthers, Capitals, Sabres, and Islanders. I get it. Maybe that line is a little inflated now to just show like they are due for a loss, but even
I don't know. It seems pretty good for a college team, you know?
So I don't know, man. I'm just saying to me, it's that line seems a little crazy to me. But
I totally agree with you.
We'll see what happens here tonight. And where's Vegas tonight? Vegas is home as minus 210 favorites. They're home to the Blues.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
I don't see Vegas slowing down, man. They look really good.
No.
And speaking of good teams, last year's Stanley Cup champions are hosting Carolina Hurricanes. Also, 2 very capable offenses. Another 6.5 point total.
Yep.
I mean, goal total. I love the over there, too. 2 very capable offenses and 2 very quick, fast teams that love to get the offense rolling. So, over 6.5. That seems to have been a reoccurring play for me in NHL games this year, and it's paid off.
Dude, remember when totals used to be 5.5? You were probably too young for that. But it's unbelievable the scoring in hockey. And real quick update out of UB, they were losing in college basketball 84-51 to James Madison at
tough.
home. So we can just leave that sport right now. And something that we wanted to talk about, actually 2 things. One, is golf dead? Golf is dead.
It's been a long time since we've talked about golf.
We used to talk about golf every week. I feel like we used to dabble every week, whether it was your Cam Smith or my Colin Morikawa. No one talks about golf anymore. It's gone. See, and it's very, very sad to me. They got to figure it out.
I love
big time. Especially next year, PGA Championship is in Rochester.
Really?
I'll be attending. Yeah, I got tickets for Sunday. So
wow.
Yeah, we got that for Smokey for a Father's Day present.
Let's go.
Looking forward to going to my first ever golf tournament, and it's a major.
I might just have to go and tailgate.
You seriously should go, man. If you can try and swing it, that'd be a great time.
I'll finagle my way in there. You know how I do.
You always do. So, let's real quick flip it over to the NFL. I know, Slick, you've been talking about the Bills Vikings all week long. What are you feeling? Does Allen play? What are you piss pounding?
God, man, it's really up in the air. I've seemed to have been the unpopular opinion that I do think Allen plays.
Okay.
But I'm not worried if he doesn't. And here's why. I think this line, I've been telling you, I think Vegas is trying to trap a lot of people into taking whether it's Vikings money line or just by the decrease in the line in the start of the week. You know, going from 9.5 to 7.5. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Vikings 7.5 is free money."
Yep.
The Bills are at home as only 3-point favorites. I don't care who's playing quarterback. I will hammer that 3 every single time, especially with the conversation you and I were having about this Vikings team.
Yeah.
Are they as legit as they seem? Look at this road to 7-1 we were talking about. Beat the Packers. Packers are nothing this year. Lost to the Eagles. Kirk Cousins in prime time, not the best, and the Eagles are undefeated. Beat the Lions. Worst defense in NFL history. Needed a double doink missed field goal to beat the Saints and Andy Dalton. Beat the Bears by 7. Beat the Dolphins' third-string quarterback. And needed the final 2 minutes to beat the Commanders by 3. And you're telling me they're going to come into Buffalo and cover a 3-point spread? There's just no way. I don't see it. I think Case Keenum wants a revenge game. Case Keenum and Diggs down the field all day. If it comes down to that, and then if Allen is playing, dude, I think they cover the original spread.
That's the cherry on top, right? I mean, that's the thing we were talking about. I kind of see it as a bluff. I don't see him playing. I kind of see it as like they're trying to, get the Vikings to prepare for multiple quarterbacks here. And I mean, like you said, Case Keenum revenge game. Diggs revenge game. It could be the Xavier Rhodes revenge game. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things going on here, but The key thing we got to look out for here, Slick, is the 4 p.m. deadline where they have to decide if they're activating Barkley or not. If they activate Barkley, you have to assume Allen's out. If they don't, you got to think Allen can somewhat play.
That's by today.
That's today at 4 p.m.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so keep your eyes on that, folks. 44 minutes to go.
It'll definitely be very telling, and it'll be interesting too to see the game plan and strategy if they even do play Allen. Could the offense change significantly? I'm not saying it'll necessarily be run heavy, but it won't look the same that it always does.
Yep.
But we'll see. I'm confident in either of those quarterbacks playing. Bills at home have looked great this season, and like I said, I think the piss pound is the 3 points. And potentially even a bigger win than that, 2 scores maybe.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for tomorrow. And let's see here. I know we're wrapping up. LSU up 3, $1:43 to go. It looks like it's 4th down. Are they in? I don't know what they're going to do.
They're on their own 18, I think.
Like I said, Slick, get ready to piss pound Ole Miss. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I really don't care. I don't know how can you be fired up as an Alabama team if LSU wins this game? That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And watch Alabama win by 30. But
yeah, right.
Oh yeah, and folks, like I said earlier in the show, my lock of the day: Aaron Blanchfield, Whaley Zhang, and Texas money line for +123. I love it.
I might have to tell that myself.
Honestly, hey, and you can sprinkle Meatball Molly and something else, right? Spread the wealth.
Of course, yeah. Like I said earlier in the show, Meatball Molly's only path to victory here is a TKO, and she's got +850 odds on some books for a knockout.
Now that's what you do. That's exactly what you do, Slick. I love it.
Hey, you have $25 left in your bank account. Throw it on that. If you win that too early in the prelims, you're playing with house money the rest of the night.
All right, Rosé's getting feisty here. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Rosé's a Molly fan. She wants meatballs.
You want Meatball Molly? Okay, she's turning her head.
Molly.
Yeah, folks, thanks for joining us today. Show sponsor, New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. Slick, thank you for joining. I'm very, very excited for tonight. It's going to be a late card, so people who are waking up early and going to the Bills tailgate, consume a lot of water tonight. Be hydrated. Yeah,
coffee's ready tomorrow morning.
There you go. Yeah, and then we'll be suited up for what? Bills Vikings at 1 and potentially a DDZ show tomorrow night, maybe prior to Sunday Night Football or something. So Awesome, folks. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you